Hold up. 2 Ironhide figures in one video? I swear it's not because of the upcoming Black Apple Ironhide designs being pre-ordered on Shoshi store. I swear guys, it's not because of that. And of course this video ain't sponsored by Shoshi store, but I will show them out right now. If you want these 2 Ironhide figures, they are quite available at Shoshi store. And Shoshi, if you ever want to sponsor me, please do. I'm not kidding, they're quite cheap. And of course we have the 4th party Masterpiece MPM 6. That's the Black Apple design. And of course this video ain't suitable for audience under the age of 13 because these characters will literally almost trying to kill you. I'm not joking. He almost tried to kill Mojo and Sam's parents and almost an army. Unless they want to show us his cannons. So today we're going to take a look at the Black Mamba LS09 Weapon Expert. And of course we have the BaiWei Tangwei Weapon Master. And funny about this packaging is that you have an open window, but plot twist, it's literally the plastic case pretty much covered, pretty much almost looking like an open window. Clever move, BaiWei. But let's now focus about the BaiWei version and let's talk about the Black Mamba because of the upcoming Black Apple design returning. But honestly, even though the Black Apple design is pretty much returning, I'm still gonna keep this overall Ironhide design. But still, the overall painting and sculpting of the Black Mamba version of the knockoff of the movie masterpiece Ironhide is pretty rad. That's how the cool kids call awesome. I know, I'm cringe. And of course I also added a little bit of paint on his face because usually it was black before, but the overall noggin of Ironhide looks absolutely crisp. It is so faithful to his CGI design when his face is literally battle damage, which was pretty much more cool, pretty cool looking design, and almost has the battle damage before Megatron. So it was there before Megatron had it. You always notice that it's pretty cool to have a battle damage character literally having one face pretty much damaged while the other one is fine. And Ironhide is no exception. And of course the overall the chest panels, the overall shoulders, and the overall cannons looks absolutely crisp. The legs looks exquisite. The toes looks juicy. Not the dirty way. Or Mojo literally lubricated his feet. Please don't do that on this figure. And of course the overall backpack looking, well, pretty neat, but yeah, the Black Apple will look a little bit better. But I do love the ingenuity at actually having the actual tires being folded into the overall legs. That is a clever way of transformation. And this is pretty much a better movie masterpiece figure than the actual official movie masterpiece. Yeah, no kidding. Because the flaw of the movie masterpiece figure is that the overall tabs on that original figure was supposed to have a tab, but instead of just having it properly, it just flops around. But Black Mamba literally managed to have it clip in properly, and now it moves freely. And of course, let's talk about the chest, which, my goodness, is this way better. And as I explained in my short, there is a way to literally, instead of just having him like so and just tapped in like just a regular ball joint, which just taps in like so, by doing so will literally have him looking so off. But there is a reason, but there's also another way to do it while having it tap in, which I need to have light mode. There we go. You can see that there is a groove where this tab is supposed to rest there, and once you move this, you need to tap it in a little bit just to get this groove into that spot. And with that, you have now Ironhide with his chest fully secure. It will not be untapped. Kudos, Black Mamba. Kudos. And what's also pretty cool is the overall light up feature. Oh my god, that looks rad. And of course, Here's also a thing about the Shoshi store, is that they literally mentioned that the cannons for this one was going to be blue in other copies. And when I literally pre-ordered it, it literally stated, well actually when I literally ordered it, it stated like so. But my actual copy that I got had the orange light. Huh, guess they literally forgot one and actually gave me the orange light. How funny is that? Ah! This is why I love the fourth party and third party figures, is that they actually added a lighter feature where you can literally push a button and it literally lights up and it doesn't fade away once you push a button. It's free will. Hasbro and Takara. But anyway, the overall articulation of this guy is pretty similar to the overall official movie masterpiece figure, which he only has a swivel and a hinge joint, and they of course have an open mouth like saying "Popcorn" kind of way. And of course, the panels usually in the official, the panels was on the arms where there was pretty much in the way, but now they're on the back, and now you can literally rest them, but you can also move them around if you want to have him looking a little bit more like some shot of the CGI, but I'm just gonna rest them here because I do like how it looks. But of course, here we also have a flaw with the official, which this overall shoulder, I do wish it was a way it was there, because my goodness, it kind of looks, well, let's just say the overall functionality of the shoulder is kind of wonky. Like, it has a hinge joints, ratchet hinge, and of course wrist swivel and open palm, thumbs up, pointy finger and three fingers connection. But when you're trying to get him to almost trying to shoot a Decepticon, he kind of looks goofy. Please step back. Are you sure? By the way, this is literally how I literally use it, just to have this kind of point of view. Like, this is literally how you're supposed to do a kind of stop motion, when you have a kind of Ironhide's point of view, instead of just having him just looking like so when he's talking to Sam. Like, this is the only closest way to get his cannon closer together, and that's a bit of shame. Well, in this angle, with outward, like out on the over the head, it's pretty fine, but below, not that fine. But of course, he also have a tight waist swivel, which is nice. Well, a little bit too tight, but hey, say la vie. And of course, he has a outward movement that isn't that well done, but he has a decent spread. But he's more of a acrobatic than just as kind of cheerleader. And of course, he kicks out that far. And of course, for being a bulky, he can literally run like a cartoon character. You don't see that every day. He has a knee rotation and of course a 90-degree bend, but due to the overall transformation and the overall panels, it blocks the overall knee, and it kind of makes it almost look like he has only limited, almost below 90 degrees, which is a bit of a shame. But hey, I hope they fix it with the upcoming Black Apple design. But either way, you can also hinge up the knee panel, which looks dumb, and then we have your feet, which can look tilt up, down, and pivot, and of course toe rotation. And how can I forget, you can also rotate the cannon, so you can literally do recreation where you literally spin his weapon to call Sam a punk. That is rad. Actually, that's pretty cool. Why am I like this? The articulation is quite neat, but it does show its age. Because now we're gonna take a look at the BaiWei version of the Studio Series Ironhide. And boy, is this one an improvement. Because if I recall this correctly, this is literally the Studio Series design with the DNA upgrade kit, just to make him more kind of poseable, more better, and quite more affordable, because this is literally like $26, and honestly, due to the aftermarket of Ironhide way too fucking ridiculous. God damn it, skull scalpers. And the original doesn't have a pivot, and you need to have an upgrade kit, and considering the upgrade kit, it is also hard to find. This is a nice way to get a Studio Series Ironhide, but a better budget. And of course, what makes this even more better is that, well, even though it does feel like a bootleg, I do love the overall choice of the eyes, which it is painted on one eye instead of the other. And of course, it still looks good, but not as well detailed as the official, which is a thing with knockoffs. But of course, you also have the cannons, which this one has a panel which does untab, which it is easy to tab together. And of course, the grill section is quite honestly too silver. I wish there was a little bit more of the gray that we're used to, but hey, c'est la vie. And of course, this version has the heel spurs, well, back heels, which gives him more of his support instead of just topple over like the original, which is pretty nice. And what's better is that while the articulation is pretty much similar, the overall possibility of the head is more free will. It actually moves better than the original. It can look up, down, side to side. Of course, it does have a butterfly joint, which you can literally have him literally show his cannons to the people, and it actually does have the cannons more closely together, like so. This is what I wanted from the masterpiece Ironhide, but the Studio Series, well, copy of the knockoff here does it better. And of course, due to the transformation, he doesn't have a waist swivel, but of course he has a elbow here, and clear plastic, which is a bit of a how do I put it in my mouth? Put it out of my mouth. A bit fragile, a bit concerned, but at least it doesn't stick out too much like a sore thumb. But just like the Fallen, it is pretty sturdy. And of course, you can kick out that far, and of course that back. And he has better, well, a bit more better spread than the Masterpiece counterpart, which is, well, he does it more than the Masterpiece. I get why people say this is better than the Masterpiece. I get that now. And of course, he has a better knee, which doesn't get in the way. And of course, you can literally kneel. And of course, he has a toe articulate. Well, only one toe can articulate, the other doesn't. But the pivot does have a kind of slight angle, which is from the original Studio Series. But with the DNA upgrade engineering, he has a pivot. That's nice. But what's more nice, other than the overall cannon kind of blast compatible, is pretty much blast compatible, which is nice. But this is not what we're here, because just like the DNA upgrade kit, you get his guns from the Doctor of the Moon, which he never used them because, quite frankly, he was pretty much killed by the traitor himself, Sentinel Prime. God damn it. And it was a way to just have him, they literally killed him off just to have him in the Transformers Prime show, which they only had the Japanese Ironhide, aka Bulkhead. Why, Hasbro? It's a bit of a shame, and quite frankly, I kind of felt sad when he killed off Ironhide. God damn you, Sentinel Prime. God damn you. Fucking bastard. But of course he has kind of a resting system where you can either, rest the weapons on his back when he literally lost his cannons in Revenge of the Fallen, and of course you can literally slide them in like so. It doesn't secure too properly, but hey, rest there quite easily, and you can literally pretty much rest them like so, and that's a pretty nice looking way. But of course, if you want to, you can also untap the cannons, which out of the package, if I can find those, yeah, here we have it. They literally came with this kind of hook, kind of resting thing, which they were literally tapped in like so. Like when I got it out of the box, I was confused. What the hell was this? And did it even serve a purpose other than, I think it kind of functions like a resting place? I don't know, but it's kind of stupid, but I really need to think a little bit more through about these. But yeah, these are also kind of an option, which I just tossed them out of the side because they are not needed. But now with his non-cannons on his shoulders, you can literally have his weapons, like his shotgun, which considering he's a weapon specialist, that is actually rad, and Doomslayer will be proud. And of course, these blades also can be removed, which I do not recommend if you are a kind of a normie or a noob about this, so leave it to the professionals. But yeah, he has a dagger, which is pretty much connected to the gun, which is pretty much from the Civil War soldiers, but this dagger does not secure properly with the hand. This is the only, well, if I can get it properly, this is the only best way I can have him holding the knife. Pathetic. And of course, if you want to do the Mexican standoff with Sideswipe and the Dredge, you can literally have him holding these two guns, like he's literally dual wielding them. Or if you want to do even more, make him more of a badass, have him literally send it to hell and literally kill demons Doom style. But that's not all. What it also comes with is these blades, which they are actually these are actually the actual undersized copies of the Fans Wanted upgrade kit for the Dark of the Moon Leader class Ironhide. If you don't remember, Fans Wanted was also a third-party company where they literally make an upgrade kit for some, well, Leader class figures and the Voyagers. If you're an old-time fan and viewer from my old channel, you will remember I had a Evasion Mode Optimus Prime with the Fans Wanted the upgrade kits for him with the, well, the overall trailers, well, the overall weapons for the overall Dark of the Moon, and of course having the jetpack, which these ones are from the Ironhide set, and you can literally make him dual wield like so, or you can have him hold it, well, like so. It's an option which looks stupid, but it's a way. But you can also make him dual wield them like the Sentinel Blade. Now he has a fighting chance if he can literally, well, be resurrected and go a time travel like fucking Kratos style and actually fight a battle he lost. Or you can tap them onto his cannons like so. Looks kind of dumb. You can tap them into his guns. Looks also kind of dumb. But I'll store them in this kind of way, which actually looks a little bit better, even though it is a bit dumb. But as for size comparison, here we have him next to the masterpiece, well, Black Apple Ironhide, which they are like father and son. And then we also have the Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake. Then we have the Legacy Deluxe Class the Leader 1. Here we have it next to Prime from Transformers Prime. And then here we have his movie masterpiece counterpart with Jazz. And of course here we have him with the much superior knockoff movie masterpiece Bumblebee, which this is literally the Wasp Warrior, and boy is that a scale. And here we have him with the Studio Series Optimus Prime 44 with the Jetwing upgrade kit. Here we have them next to the Trader Sentinel Prime, and of course each scale. And here we have it next to Black Mamba kind of style of Unique Toys Challenger, aka Age of Extinction movie masterpiece style Optimus Prime, and that is quite a display. All I need now is a Ratchet, plus kind of a Black Apple or Black Mamba Optimus Prime, just to complete the 2007 collection of the Autobots. And maybe also replacement for this Jazz, because there's a way off the shoulder that I kind of did a bit of a oopsie, and I know the LS kind of AOE mech Jazz is on stock, and so see if you ever feel like he's sponsoring me, and send this copy to me, please do. And before I forget, I will show an image of the old modes of Ironhide, and of course with the movie masterpiece figures, because I am not going to transform them in this review. But if you want me to transform this guy, and of course the rest of the accessories, which they are more for the old mode for this Studio Series figure, then make sure that you leave a like, and of course comment down below if you want me to do it, and of course subscribe to the channel, because trust me, I do not have this kind of time to transform these guys at all. But in conclusion, Black Mamba Ironhide and BaiWei Ironhide are quite nice additions to my collection, and I highly recommend it if you pick those guys up. But if you want the Black Apple design of movie masterpiece Ironhide, then I recommend that you literally wait for that copy if it ever release, and of course if you want to avoid to have a kind of a weapon storage, well, pretty much having the weapon storage stored inside the old mode instead of just outside looking goofy, then yeah, the Black Apple will be a better topic. I know I've talked about Black Apple design. I know that Black Apple and Wei Chang are dead, but they are literally on pre-order, like the overall copy of the Black Apple, which is on stock, or well, will be on stock. It's now on pre-order. If you want to wait for it, go for it. But as I stated, both Black Mamba and BaiWei figures are available at Show-C store if you ever want them. But yeah, as I stated before, if you ever want a kind of movie masterpiece or a Studio Series and you can't find them quite at a good price, and you don't want to spend too much money in this kind of, well, time when inflation and if this economy, then I do recommend that you get these figures. But do keep in mind, if they go broken and there's a kind of a QC issue with these, you know there's a way to get after sale service for these guys, which if they do get brokey, there's always a way to contact a replacement part for these guys at Show-C store. It is a way, so don't worry if it actually breaks on you. Well, if it happens, because there's always kind of a way to get replacement. But if it doesn't, well, that's kind of bad. But treat these well, because even though they are quite solid, they're meant more for display pieces than, well, for being played around with. Even though they are kind of nice to play around with, if you chose to, they are actually quite fun to handle. But as it's stated, if you do want to have these figures, do treat them with care and respect and justice for Ironhide, because man, we do need. Because if Hasbro ain't gonna re-release Ironhide in the kind of Studio Series line and just kind of shoving this kind of 5-pack in the 15th anniversary set that is quite overpriced and isn't available in Sweden or any country, then that sucks. But if you do want to have these, as I stated before, if you want to have them, Show-C store is always a good place to get your stuff. But that's enough with my kind of rant. But do stay in mind that they are not quite possible as you expect. But that's kind of a sacrifice I'm quite fond having. It's a kind of sacrifice I'm willing to accept if it means to have quite solid figures. Then I don't mind. But anyway, that's all I had to say about these Ironhide figures. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, only time will tell when my next review is going to be. Until then, I'll see you all next time, and remember one thing: justice for Ironhide.